All right, there it is mounted. And obviously the rear upper part of the bumper is off, but that's just for working purposes. Yeah, so that's, you know, that's what it's going to look like. It will hopefully be pretty subtle with the rubber shield, our plastic shield back on it. It should look relatively stock. That's my hope, is that it is pretty stealth. Sound signature wise, it's quite close. Maybe a titch louder, I suppose. First thing that you notice pulling it out of the welder's shop was that all of a sudden you start hearing the turbo spool up. So, you know, I thought that was kind of cool, but and that's just barely above idle, and you suddenly start hearing the turbo spool. So, a couple things to note. I had told you that this is an 18-inch wide. I had told you that 20-inch would be perilous to fit, and you can see why now, right? You know, you're going to bump into this mount for your. I think probably all bumpers fit like that. This is a Super ATV. So 20-inch gets close. However, notice that this bracket, this is metal, you got plenty of clearance here. I can get 2 fingers, right? So you could simply put a larger radius bend on this tab, drop this down, and put a 20-inch muffler on if you were, which would bring this, yo, golly, what was that part number? 27149, I think, was the 20-inch Super Turbo Muffler that would have been even quieter than this. So that's the first thing to point out. Obviously, you know, again, and I'll have to drill and put the spark arresters back in this so that it passes that test. But otherwise, it's pretty factory looking. I talked to you in the first video about the bends, that this didn't come down as far, but you'll notice in looking at this now that your turbo outlet holds this at that same angle. So this is your closest point of approach, if you will, to the plastic. And that does not change because, again, this is fixed. That has not changed its let's call it angle of departure, angle of exit relative to the turbo. So the only time you start to see any change is at this flex, and that coupling is, you know, golly, barely at an incline. And as you shoot down this, you can see that you have nothing but increasing clearance. This remains, again, that closest point of approach. Or least amount of clearance. So no sweat, right? All you get is a slight increase in clearance here on your radiator coolant tubes, which is good for me. Plenty of clearance still on this side. So yeah, that becomes a non-issue. That works out pretty well. You know, here better light. Here's your, and these move a little bit, so you can center that up. But that's your mount tabs. Maybe the only other thing to note is, of course, your plastic outer shield mounts are here, 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice this is sacrificed because that mount tab right here is in the way of this, and so you can't mount it. I'm going to bring, you can see here, perhaps. I'm going to bring a small piece of metal, and I'm going to make that notch in it. Bring that down about 1 inch and thread it, right? So just a single piece of flat metal. Bring it down 1 inch. Then from that point, there it is, that inch drop. I can shoot across with the factory bracket, right? Then I'll just put a matching 1-inch riser on it,